Hello and hi, welcome to Yedidia Shofet.net, and welcome to this week's Parshat, Parshat Korach. In this week's Parsha, Vayikach Korach, and Korach took, what did he take? He took 250 men, and he persuaded them to say that, look, we have to be the ones in charge. And they all approach Moshe and Aharon, and they tell him that, why do you think that you guys get to control us, that you guys get to tell us what to do? Why did you elevate yourself over us? Who do you think you are? We all heard the same words from Sinai. We all heard the same words from God. But no, you're the special ones. What about us? And Korach, he led a rebellion all about this with the people, and it was horrible. So the question is, what could bring someone? Now look, Korach wasn't a simple person. Rashi says that he was a clever person. He wasn't an idiot. So how could he bring himself to create an uprising against Moshe, against Aharon, which ultimately led to his own demise? If he was clever, he wouldn't have done something like this. He wouldn't have done stupid things like this, like they've done in the past. You know, they already saw the mistakes that they did. If you were clever, you would learn from your mistakes. So how could he bring himself to such an error? So there's a beautiful story. It talks about this kid. His name is Little Yisrael. Who later became Rabbi Yisrael of Huziatin. Now, this boy, he was learning with this rabbi once, and he tells the rabbi, it says in Rashi, it says in the commentaries about Korach, it says that why did he act so foolishly? Because even though he was clever, his eye deceived him. So the kid, he asked the rabbi, Rabbi, why does it say his eye deceived him? Why not his eyes? Why only his eye? So the rabbi says, look, you asked a very good question. I want to see if you can answer it. So the kid, he thinks for a moment and says, you know what, I think I can answer this question. You listen to what the kid answers. He says that, why did God make two eyes? Why didn't he just make one eye? So the rabbi says, please tell me. He says, because one eye is always to look around in the spiritual world, to see where God is, to see how amazing all the creations are, and another eye is to see how low you are. To basically see that, look, you're not everything. To understand that you, no matter how special you are, no matter how powerful you are, that still, you see the spiritual and you see the physical. You understand that where your place is on this planet, and you understand where God's glory is all around this earth. So you need these two eyes. But Korach, he didn't have both of these eyes. He physically had. But he was missing the whole idea of the spiritual version. And all he did was he saw himself. And that's what it means by only one eye. He didn't look around to see that what does everyone else do, that each person has their own place. Now I'll explain this to you to show how accurate these words are out of this little boy's mouth. Let me ask you a question. If you put your fingers like this, you see I'm putting my fingers like this. If you put one finger farther from the other, you can see one finger is farther from the other. But if you close one of your eyes and do this, what happens? They both look at the same distance. What does that mean? There's something called depth perception. And you need both eyes in order to register in your mind how far something is, or how your perception, it can register the depth of everything. Like I'm looking around in my room, I see one chair is farther than the other. What does that tell you? That means you need both eyes to see what dimension everything is in. You need both eyes physically to see what dimension it is. But also you need both eyes to understand what dimension where your place is. And Korach, he didn't have that. He saw everything was his dimension, that no one else mattered. And when he went to Moshe and Aharon, no matter how smart he was, and he came with the great words, with a great rebellion, many probably tried, but they probably couldn't succeed in gaining one person. But Korach, he came up because he knew how to handle a battle. But he didn't understand who he was and where his place was. That's why he failed. So ultimately, what do we learn from this? We learn from this, what is our perspective? Where do we see ourselves and where do we see everyone else? Do we see everyone else subservient to us? Or do we see ourselves subservient to everyone else? Or do we understand that all of us has a special dimension where we make everyone's life better because we are special? Meaning that if you know where your place is, you will be happy. Everyone will be happy because everyone knows that we need each other. As Jews, we need each other. Not that we need to eat each other. that we have to be on top of each other. But rather, we have to understand that there's a perception, and that perception is each of us makes a difference. And Korach, he thought that, no, it's not like that. It's either my way or no one. And he didn't open up both eyes to see that, no, it doesn't work like that. I want to wish you a beautiful Shabbat. And for when you're around the table and you're looking around and you keep closing that one eye, and people start asking you the question that, what are you closing your eye? And you want to say, I want to see who's sitting closer to me. It's the best way to start off this idea. Why? Because when you put things into perspective, when you show people that, look, that there's something interesting I learned, something interesting I want to share with everyone, the best way you can do it is to put yourself out of the ordinary. You know, it sounds funny, it may sound a little out of tune, but try it. This Shabbat, you want to share a beautiful Devar Torah with everyone, start batting your eyelashes. Now, I'm not saying it in a provocative way, I'm saying it in a funny way. When you do it like that, you'll start to bring up a conversation, and you make everyone understand, to show that, look, all of us make a difference. All of us have a special dimension. All of us are special. I want to wish you a beautiful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.